You want to study in Canada, but you might be going through the dilemma of whether you should really select a cheap university or an expensive, top-ranked institution to go to. Well, in this video, I'm going to crack the code on the exact factors you need to consider to make sure you're selecting the right institution for your studies when you move to Canada. What's happening, everybody? My name is Z, and I make helpful videos for students just like you who are planning on studying abroad. I also happen to be the founder of Connected Education, where we help students with their entire admission, visa, and career development journey when they move abroad. So if you're interested, make sure to sign up through the link below. However, this video is going to be extremely helpful for those of you who are kind of confused on how to select the right institution. Before I give you the secret formula, let's first talk about what do people actually do. Before I give you the secret formula on selecting the right institution, if you're thinking how much it's going to cost you to study in Canada, we have prepared a very detailed cost of study guide for you so you can map out the expenses, whether you can actually cover your expenses, and how much is it going to cost you exactly every single month as an international student in Canada. So make sure to download that from the link below. Now let's talk about what do students typically do when they're searching for institutions. Here's what they do. People are often looking for affordable institutions, cheapest institutions, or top-ranked institutions. If you ask me if this is the right way to search for institutions, this is literally the worst way you can go about searching for institutions. Let me build an example for you. Imagine you're someone who went to University of Toronto, which is the top-ranked institutions, and you still graduated and couldn't get a job. Would you be proud of yourself? Would you say that's a good return on investment? Possibly not. Now let's imagine you went to a cheap institution and still couldn't manage a job. Well, what was the point of going to a cheap institution if you actually increased your expenses later on by not being able to get a good job? But let's say a student who goes to a top-ranked institution doesn't get a job, but a student who goes to a cheaper institution and gets a job is really the winner. So the priority here is who can get the job faster. Because here's the thing, you could be paying top dollars for the top ranked institutions and not be able to land a job, which is still going to cost you a lot of money, and you could go to a cheap institution, still not be able to land a job, which is still going to cost you a lot of money. So your eyes should be on the prize, which is the job. Which city or which institution can maximize your career opportunities as an international student right after graduation? Here are the 3 factors you need to consider when selecting the right institution in Canada so you don't have to fall for the wrong way of looking for institutions. Number 1, career opportunities. Number 2, academic experience. And number 3, lifestyle. Let's talk about career opportunities. Imagine this. If you went to a city, you studied a 4-year or a 2-year program, and you graduated and realized that there are no jobs related to your field in the city you went to. Let's take Saskatchewan, for example. Do you think there are any mechanical engineering or robotics engineering or aeronautical engineering opportunities in Saskatchewan within Canada? Chances are extremely low. However, guess what? There might be a ton of agricultural opportunities. So for someone who's going to study agriculture, Saskatchewan might be an amazing place to go. But if you're going to study aerospace, Saskatchewan is possibly not the right place. And even if someone may have convinced you saying that you could just study the program and then move to a different city, guys, it's not easy. You're moving continents away from home. You never even traveled abroad before. How do you expect to move to an entirely new country, live there in a city for 4 years, build all the connections, which is going to take you some time, and then just leave it all behind and move to a new city and start from scratch again? You wouldn't do that in your home country anyway. So why would you want to do it there? It's easy to sound, but it's very hard to do. And if you were to ask me, it's probably 1% of students who can do that. If you're not capable or not very street smart, don't make that bet. So ideally, what you're trying to figure out is which city, not institution, which city in Canada can promise you the most number of job opportunities in your field. The way to figure this out is by literally going on any job platforms within Canada and typing up your desired job title after graduation and see which city offers the most job opportunities related to that field. And then select an institution, whether if it's top ranked, whether if it's a cheap institution, really doesn't matter at that point. Just make sure that you go to the city that offers you the most job opportunities. Number 2, academic experience. This is where you get to decide which institution you could really go for. So if I were to connect back to the example that I gave you, let's say you selected that Toronto is the ideal destination for you. However, is Humber College or Seneca College the right choice for you? You might be going through that confusion now. The best way to figure this out is by looking at what kind of support services does the institution offer to international students to make their life easier. What kind of reviews do they have online? How do their course sequence compare to each other? So let's say Seneca College might be a bit more expensive than Humber College, but let's say you were to study the same program. However, Seneca College's course sequence might be a little more unique and might be a little more different. Then it's totally worth it paying a little extra for Seneca College. However, if it's the same course sequence, you could simply study at the cheaper college and still have access to the same quality of education. So make sure to look at academic support services your institution offers, career development support services your institution offers, also international student support services your institution offers. You can also look up YouTube vlogs of current students who study at that institution that you're planning on going to. It will give you perspective, because the last thing you don't want is to have all these big dreams of studying abroad at an amazing institution, then you move abroad to figure out, to only find out that your institution is extremely far from downtown. It's in a deserted place where you have absolutely no life, and there's not a lot of diverse culture or people for you to feel accepted. And the last thing you don't want is a boring architecture. So you can also use Google 360 maps to figure out what campus looks like, so you know whether you're gonna enjoy being there. And lastly, lifestyle. Look guys, you're not moving abroad just to study. You're moving abroad to achieve that dream lifestyle that you've been dreaming of your whole life, so that you can get out of the current state that you're in, that you seem to hate a lot, and live a better life when you move abroad. So if you're only gonna prioritize your studies, it's not going to work out in your best interest. So you want to make sure that the city you picked also offers an amazing lifestyle, so that on the weekends you could go hiking or go out with friends, have fun. It should have a good food culture. It should have many tourist destinations. For example, in Canada, not every city is fun to live in. There are small village kind of cities, and you don't want to end up in those places. This is why when so many international students move abroad, you will see their stories. They're literally in an empty space. There's not a lot going on in their life, right? It's because they chose the wrong institution. Agencies manipulated them into going to the bad institutions where they receive a lot of commissions from. So you don't want to fall into that trap, okay? Select the right city which offers that dream lifestyle. You want to have fun. The best way to do this is by literally going on Google and searching things to do in blank, and in blank you put in the city that you're planning on going to, and it will tell you a lot about the city. Make sure you can live a fun lifestyle with a lot of wide range of activities that the city can offer. Imagine if your parents ever come visit you and they realize they spent over $50,000-$60,000 and you just have a boring lifestyle, you wouldn't be proud about showing that to your family who sponsored this massive part of your life, right? So keep that thought for the long term and make sure that you use these 3 factors to determine the institution. If you really want to know how to do these things technically and you want someone to help with you, obviously I own a company called Connected which can help you with exactly that and match you to your dream destination, and then find you the right institution where you can maximize your career experience. That being said, I hope this video helped and added a little bit of value to your journey as an international student. If you want to learn more about what we do, link is in the description. But if you like the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe so that you stay tuned to my future videos where I'm going to keep on sharing more gems. All right, that being said, thank you for watching this video today, and I guess I'll see you when I see you.